And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Happy Kobe Bryant Day to everyone out there. It's Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for joining us here at the Lakers Fast Break. I also host the Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, which we're going to actually have to record in the morning tomorrow. Hopefully, you'll be there for your Monday afternoon drive home. We will be talking about the tremendous success, once again, of K-pop Demon Hunter. Is it the biggest news story in pop culture for 2025? We'll discuss that, plus also talking about Gears of War Reloaded. Of course, also a lot of other good stuff as well. Go ahead and make sure you check it out. Peacemaker Season 2 and more. Go ahead and check it out. Coming up this week right here at the Pop Culture Cosmos. Also as well, coming up hopefully later this week, we said we would get in one more episode of Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Chris Sardieri and I, we've got to go ahead and set a time and a date this week for it, but we've got you covered for those last minute tips for your last minute drafts. If you've got one, go ahead and make sure you got that all covered today or covered up this week. If you haven't already drafted and you need a primer to get you going before then, go ahead and check out Inside Sports Fantasy Football, where Chris Sardieri and I covered for an hour everything that you need to know leading into your fantasy football draft right there for you. Inside Sports Fantasy Football. Of course, also as well, good friends. Hopefully, Joe Soro will stop on by. King Soro himself, maybe he will stop on by. It's a Kobe Bryant Day tribute, so I'm assuming he will. Looking forward to seeing if Magic Man Sean Grice will also stop on by. He said he would be coming on his way here, so glad to see that the LFB guys hopefully will be on his way. Again, looking forward to it. Mark, you're there in the chat, my friend. I know it's Monday morning. I know you got busy work and all that stuff, but if you want to stop by and pay tribute to Kobe Bryant as well, I gave you the link. You're always welcome to hop on as well, my friend. But of course, also give some love out there to our good friends, of course, at report_court on Twitter, which would be Stone Hansen. Alfred Esmond on Twitter. He's covering a lot of stuff that he's doing locally with his local newspaper. So God bless him. He is fighting the good fight, working from the ground up, doing what he can to make it big in the sports reporting world, and I'm hoping he will be able to do that. Plus, don't forget our good friend legend from I Got Next Sports Media. Also as well, Daniel Barry Sports Highlights. And also as well, don't forget our good friend as well, Joe Soro, hopefully be on the air, and Empire Jeff TV. Those guys cover the Lakers and Dodgers. And, of course, Joe Soro on the Joe Soro Experiment. He was elaborating quite a bit. And it was funny because I was looking at his chat and I was watching his show, and somebody said, man, that the Padres had got the Dodgers number. And I'm thinking to myself, Dodgers won 9 of 13 games this year against the Padres. Who has whose number? Really? I don't quite remember that. But okay. All right, whatever. But yeah, go ahead and check out the Joe Soro Experiment or Empire Jeff TV as well. Well, today is supposed to be a happy day because it is Kobe Bryant Day. Get it 8/24. So hopefully you guys remember that. Hopefully everyone out there thought the Lakers sending out birthday wishes in memory of Kobe Bryant yesterday, because his birthday falls yesterday on the 23rd. But Kobe Bryant, we celebrate today on 8/24 because of his numbers. So hopefully you will get a chance, or you had the chance this weekend, to at least take one moment of your weekend to think about Kobe Bryant. If you do, and if you did, I want to hear your thoughts on some really good memories that you have of Kobe Bryant in the chat, or want to see it if you guys can. But I know a good man here, he has got some great memories indeed. Plus, we will discuss a Kobe Bryant movie in the works. Is it too soon? Is the subject matter right? Is it something we want to see and discuss? We'll go ahead and do that for you on this show as well. but it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Truly cannot thank you stopping by, but please make sure you like and subscribe. Become a member today for just $2.99 a month. And we'll go ahead and make sure we got you covered. Everybody in the chat from Xbox. Eric, great to have you here. JY, M24. The King Soro himself is in the chat. Yep, already throwing chides at John and me and whatever.
Well, something, Gerald. Let's first, before we get into Kobe, let's discuss something that is important, because you raised a very uh, cogent point, and that is that the Dodgers have won 9 of 13 against the Padres this year. And ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're not familiar, Gerald's fine better half is great nurse and a fine human being, and she knows exactly what I'm going to be talking about here. So there are 4 kinds of delusions, ladies and gentlemen. There's bizarre, non-bizarre, mood congruent, and mood neutral. San Diego Padre fans are suffering from bizarre delusions, such as an alien abducted you, replaced all your blood with Kool-Aid, and brought you back to Earth, and you are none the wiser. That is pretty much what Padres fans are deluding themselves with. Now, Gerald, bizarre delusions tend not to affect the rest of us. So if people want to be that kind of delusional, and I don't need to talk about delusional here with the Podfather. He knows exactly what delusional looks like, running the Lakers Fast Break since its inception. With that being said,
it's gotten more delusional since inception.
It has. It's taken a left turn there. But yeah, Gerald is correct, ladies and gentlemen. Padres fans are delusional.
Again, it was just interesting to, because I was looking at, like I said, watching Joe's show and just seeing the comments, which is always a adventure on his or my show. It just doesn't matter. It's crazy out there. But yeah, I did want to go ahead and just mention that to everybody, as far as that the guy, how wrong that guy was. The Dodgers have owned the Padres by statistics and records this year, 9 of 13. They just got to beat everybody else. That's why they're still tied in the Western Division against the Padres right now. But I'm sure they'll get it going. I'm sure they'll get it going indeed. But getting to the day at hand, Magic Man, it is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and stop on by. And as Joe said in the chat, the tannest man in all of Canada. It is, of course, Magic Man Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here celebrating Kobe Bryant Day. Not a day where we're somber or sad because of the passing of Kobe Bryant. We're trying to celebrate his life. But I wanted to go ahead and just talk today for about an hour or so about his legacy, the legacy that he left behind. And it all starts off with a possible movie that's in the works. In fact, according to Variety, if you want to go ahead and check it out, Variety has a story on it. It's in the works with Warner Brothers about a specific script. They've greenlit it about the inner dealings with what happened in and around the Nets' perspective, my friend, on Kobe getting drafted in the 8th spot. Because as you know the story, John Calipari, they brought him in to go ahead and see if he was a possible thing. He's going to look like he was going to be a Net for quite a stretch there. But at the last minute, they decided to go ahead with Kerry Kittles, and that basically changed the course of history for 2 organizations. But I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. I actually kind of like this parameter. I knew somebody's going to hit up a Kobe on film at some point in time. You knew it was inevitable. A, is it too soon? B, is it a good subject matter? I'll share my thoughts on it in a sec, but I just wanted to hear your thoughts first. A, again, is it too soon to do it? And B, is it a good subject matter as well?
Great question, Cheryl. I would say I don't think it's too soon. I think if this was a year or two later, I would have said, yeah, it's definitely premature. But I think enough time has passed, and Gerald, I have to believe that whether or not the events had transpired, I believe there was going to be a Kobe biographical film anyway, Gerald. Just given the momentum that Kobe has had in entertainment before his passing. And B, I think that Gerald, who did Draft Day with Kevin Costner? Was that Warner Brothers?
I'll look it up right now. So coming up right here, yeah, Kevin Costner. That was actually a underrated, decent movie. I
It
wouldn't say it's
was.
great, but I think
No,
it was interesting. It had some interesting aspects to it. A little. It was distributed by Lionsgate. Just
Lionsgate.
looking at
Okay.
it. Yeah.
All right. Okay. If it was something like that along those lines, like a decent, like kind of the Nets perspective, I think is great because those are, if we're talking about Kobe Bryant Day, those are my two favorite pre-Kobe draft stories. So Gerald, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, but that whole scene with Jerry West talking John Calipari reminds me of when Obi-Wan Kenobi was in the hover car, Gerald, and he tells the Jedi trooper, "These are not the droids you're looking for." I could totally see Jerry West convincing John Calipari, "You should take Kerry Kittles. Here's why you should take Kerry Kittles," and completely sidewinding the Nets draft expectations, Gerald. That is totally within Jerry West's power and ability, Gerald. And I believe he totally Jedi mind tricked John Calipari and the Nets into taking Kerry Kittles and not Kobe Bean Bryant.
First of all, Magic Experiment himself, King Soro, said it was a dumb idea for Warner Brothers to be doing this. And I'm thinking to myself, really? They actually lead the box office. They passed up Disney earlier this month as far as overall money at the box office for 2025.
Right.
Let's count the hits so far. Yeah, they started off on a bad note with the Alto Nights with Robert De Niro talking to Robert De Niro, and then Mickey 17, which I liked, but
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately it made zero money at the box office. Since then, let's start off with Minecraft movie. Let's start off Final Destination
Billion.
Bloodlines.
That's another
Which
close
one?
to Final Destination. That was close to $1 billion, right?
No, Final Destination Blue. No, that was like 400, 500 million. But
Oh, okay.
that's on such a that's on a horror movie budget. So
Well, it's a
it
legacy
made
too. So
yeah,
yeah.
it made quite a substantial
Okay,
profit
so
on
we're
that.
talking 1.5 billion so far with Minecraft and that
Yes.
one. Keep going, Gerald.
Yeah, we'll go ahead with that one. Then Sinners,
Oh,
one of the
okay.
biggest surprise
Yeah.
hits of the year. F1, which they actually distributed for Apple, and that just went over $600 million at the box office. And then, let's just not forget what's going on right now at the box office with Weapons, which is going to be the biggest hit of August, and that was also produced on a smaller horror movie budget. So yeah, I think if anybody is going to be capable of doing it, remember they just did. What did they just do relating to the Lakers, Magic Man, that they had on for 2 seasons?
Yeah, Showtime.
Yeah, a winning time, of
Winning
course.
time.
Yes, and season 2 I thought was really good. Season 1 was okay, highs and lows, but season 2 I thought was really good. Although they didn't decide to continue it, I think that it's in good hands, in decent hands. I like the perspective. I like the angle of it. I like the fact that they could have easily gone for the low hanging fruit and been able to go, oh, let's just go ahead and do a synopsis of Kobe's life. Let's just do from the high school to his last game, or having win that the 2010 championship or something, going on. Just going through the memorable highlights of his career, the highs and lows of his career. Just doing a generic biopic. They could have done that. Could have gone for that angle. Been a more broad take on it, which often happens. But I agree with them. I agree with them on going at this angle. I think it's a different story. I think it's a story that hasn't been told to any great detail to the regular common sports fan out there. I think that's something that could be appealing to a audience out there. You don't have to make it a huge budget as well. So I think from a perspective, from Warner Brothers, I think it's something that could really be something that's green. The question is though, will you make it good enough to put on a film at the box office, or will it go straight to HBO Max? I think that's the question that I have. How much they will appreciate the movie. Do they think it will be good enough to be put on a larger platform like the box office and give it a full wide release? Or will they just go ahead and put it just straight to streaming? But we will find out. So, um, the experiment says Sinners made all the money because there's nothing going on. No, that's wrong. That's a dumb statement right there, Joe. Just stop saying this stuff. That's a good movie. That's a damn good movie. That's why it made all that money, and it made the money in the U.S. most of it domestically, Joe. So yeah, don't try to put down Sinners. Come on. Yeah, come on. No, Joe, look it up. Look it up. F1 was distributed by Warner Brothers. Don't tell me pop culture. I know more pop culture in and out over you, my friend. I host the Pop Culture Cosmos. I report on these numbers on a weekly basis. So yes.
See that, Joe? That's Gerald's chin right there.
Yes,
That's Gerald's chin.
Yes. Give us a break from your misinformation here. Yes. Take a look. Yes. Apple helped produce a picture. They put the money up for it, but they asked Warner Brothers to distribute it. I understand it's going to go to Apple TV Plus when it finally hits
distribute, streaming. Joe. Distribute.
Yes, distribute. So it is. They are getting cha-ching from it. There you go. So there you go. What's up, Turbo? How you doing? Yeah, Joe. Yeah, your idle threats don't amuse me. What's up, Parade on Figaro? Gerald Manchman, a hypothetical question for you both. Would have Kobe and Luka worked on the same team? That's a good question, Parade on Figaro. Always great to have you on Twitch.
Yeah. Yeah. That would have worked. That would have worked. Eventually, it would have worked. I would say this, though. I again, like when we're talking about those hypotheticals, Kobe, in that situation, Kobe would have to play a different role. He would have to play more off the ball. Luka would have to have the ball in his hands. I think Kobe would have been a monster. He just would have been more of a throwback. He would have been a lot of transition, and his mid-range game would have absolutely suffocated defenses. So eventually, they would have made it work, Gerald.
It's just like the thing with Kobe and LeBron, but that have worked as well. Two great players, if they want to play with each other and they see a pathway to success, will do what they can to make it work, because that's what great players ultimately do. They put aside egos and do what's best for the team. If they realize that they both want to play with each other and they see greatness from it, they would go ahead and be able to do so. I mean, Gasol was one of the greatest overseas players of all time. He had established so much in Memphis. He put aside whatever ego he could as a multi-time All-Star to work as effectively as he could within the confines of Phil Jackson's team and Kobe Bryant, and deferred to him in order to make that team as good as it did. So I guess to use as an example there. And then Shaq and Kobe, they made it work for as long as they could, but then, as we saw, egos got in the way, and there could have been more. And they both realized it after the end. If they want to make it work, they will make it work. Yeah, if Kobe didn't want to make it work, well, we saw what happened there. So on both sides of the equation. But the legacy is what I'm asking for today, Magic Man. I wanted to hear your thoughts on this. The legacy that he leaves behind. I mean, we've seen it from a very few people whose legacy has endured over the course of our history, to our present. Let's say the Marilyn Monroes, I guess Elvis's, the even to some extent Prince's. Just those individuals who are still Tupac Shakur,
Hmm.
who still resonate, who people still wear, people who weren't born during the time that they were alive or successful, wearing or embracing their work to this day. That's what I want to hear your thoughts on. Kobe Bryant. It has been 5 years, but do you see Kobe Bryant transcending generations, similar to what we saw with some of those greatest, I guess, long-lasting legacies that are out there?
Yes, yes, and we've had this conversation a few times, Cheryl. I'm steadfast in what I believe is that his philosophy, the Mamba mentality, that philosophy does transcend his own sport and his own profession, what he did. I look at it very similarly to a man he admired, Gerald, and thought a lot about his career and the trajectory it took and changed, and that was Bruce Lee. And
Bruce Lee, very good.
Bruce Lee's philosophy of Jeet Kune Do, which has lasted up until now, Gerald, and will continue to. That is part of Bruce's legacy beyond his kung fu expertise. It's the mentality of be water, be formless, be shapeless. And I thought that Kobe took his own philosophy about his profession and his drive, Gerald, and transformed it and was able to express it in the Mamba mentality, and that will transcend generations. I mean, his philosophy, that the mentality. By the way, Mamba forever. It's applicable to every facet of life. If you want to apply it, if you want to get better sleep, you can use his philosophies to try and get better sleep. If you want to have a better gear on nutrition, follow the Mamba mentality. That will lead you down a path uh, that will lead to progress. And Gerald, it needs to be said that the Mamba mentality is about the process. It's not about the results. Kobe always talked about the results will come and go, but the sun comes up again, and you have to start the process all over again from scratch. And if you have that mentality, life, while hard, can lead to positivity, Drilled, because at the end of the day, it was all about a mindset. It's all about a mindset. I remember that conversation he had with Jamel Hill, Gerald, where she was completely confused by his answer to a very closed-ended question where she asked him about, to him it wasn't about winning or losing, and she couldn't understand where he was coming from, and of course you couldn't understand because you weren't hearing what he was trying to say, and it was always about the progress. It's not about the outcome.
M24 has a great story of his own. He loved the story of Kobe and T-Mac watching karate movies like you were talking about. Bruce Lee, of course, the legend that he has had and has endured with karate movies on VHS growing up. Obviously, that's a great story as well. Uh, just just the inspiration that you can take from those kung fu movies, which I have taken from many as well. So
Gerald,
absolutely.
I remember in Toronto on Channel 12 every Saturday night the Shaw Brothers would be on. I Gerald, that still gives me goosebumps. The Shaw Brothers intro.
There you go, indeed. Parade on Figueroa on Twitch says, "Great show, Gerald. Thank you for honoring Kobe. Do you and Sean consider Kobe the greatest Laker ever?" I think we talked about this before. I know the past couple months recently. Boy, is it hard to go ahead and uh, you're not wrong if you say Magic. You're not wrong if you say Kobe, and it's just so hard to find a differential against both as far as if you say they're both it, I can't say you're wrong.
I think we're talking
I'm
about
torn.
two
I'm honestly
sides.
torn.
It's two sides of the same coin. It's just One was
Yeah.
night and the other was day.
As someone who lived through both parade, I think I'd probably have to say they're both, in my opinion. I can't give you an answer either which way. I think
Yeah,
I'm doing a disservice to Kobe if I say Magic, and think I'm doing a disservice to Magic if I say Kobe. They
agree.
both impacted my life as a Lakers fan in so many ways and so many thrills that I just it's just hard for me to find a Greece against both. Now, the greatest of all time, Laker all time, as far as I'm concerned, that's a different story. That's based on ability and where you think they land on. That's a different story. But as far as greatest Laker ever, based on their impact within the organization and out, as far as their impact on pop culture worldwide, I mean, there's still people that are wearing Magic jerseys around the world. There's still people around the world wearing Kobe Bryant jerseys. Look at the Philippines, which is one of the greatest Lakers supporting nations on the planet. And you could go there, and you could see all the Lakers jerseys that are being supported. A lot of them have Kobe, and some of them have Magic as well. So yeah, to me, it's just so hard to go ahead and say either one. So I'm going to cop
Absolutely.
out. I'm going to cop out parade. I'm going to say both are the greatest Lakers of all time.
Absolutely, Joe. And we can't overlook the impact that the Bird Magic rivalry had on not only basketball but America and the world, Gerald, because that really crossed a lot of boundaries and areas that maybe people were uncomfortable with. And I think that legacy is still very important, although it has waned because of we're 40 years later, but I still know that that impact still remains, and that needs to be taken into account when we talk about Magic's impact on not only the Lakers but the NBA, because Magic had a lot more to do with saving the NBA as much as he had to do with transforming the Lakers.
Mhm. Xbox has been very, I guess, expressive in the chat. Truly appreciate, as always, my friend, guiding us through as our moderator extraordinaire today while he's working out there in Australia. He says they shouldn't make a movie on Kobe when the great man is not even here to say it's right or wrong. Disgusting. They're going to do it. They're going to touch on it. They make movies off of the memories of dead people for years. I mean,
Yeah, I
there's a
mean,
movie coming up for with Billy Zane. I saw playing Marlon
mhm,
Brando, Waiting for Brando, or something like that.
mhm.
It's called entitled. They made movies on him now for years. They've used his character, his likeness, or people have portrayed him now for years. They portrayed dead people for years, famous or infamous, what have you. I mean, what is one of Netflix's, I guess, biggest documentaries of the year is the Gabby Petito story. That's based off of someone who tragically passed away at the hands of another. I mean, it's our society feeds on it, and I don't
Oh,
think this. Well, let me just say one thing, because he's also talking about Vanessa Bryant wants it for money. I don't think so. I think the estate makes a lot of money, and I would not expect this movie, Magic Man. Sports movies traditionally don't make a whole lot of money. I think that this movie, if it probably, if it turns a profit, I think Warner Brothers would be happy with that, unless it's marketed in the proper fashion. And again, it's such a niche part of Kobe's life. I don't expect outside of hoop heads like us to take time to see the movie. Again, Draft Day. You talked about Draft Day. Was Draft Day really a financial success? In the essence, is like that. So sports movies don't usually have a tendency to make money. Vanessa probably said okay if she was asked, based off the fact that it's such a niche part of it. It wasn't based off of the Kobe career as a Laker, whatnot, what he's most well known for. This is the draft process leading up to him being, the pick that the Lakers took. So I don't know, Xbox. I say it's not disgusting. It's just Hollywood. They need original stories to go off of, and instead of just doing rehashing sequels all the time. If you say it's disgusting, okay, but at some point somebody's going to do it. Somebody's going to do a Kobe biopic. Somebody's going to do a Kobe movie, because posthumously and things of that nature. I think this is probably the best place you could start because again, it's just a part of the Kobe story that very few know.
Very few. And Gerald, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Space Jam Warner Brothers?
Space Jam is Warner Brothers, yes.
Oh, okay. So that was Michael Jordan, and now Warner Brothers is doing the Colt. Seems fitting, Gerald. Seems fitting. We'll see. I mean, like you said, sports movies don't tend to make a lot of but like the feel good ones. I remember Gerald, Friday Night Lights. Remember the Titans. They didn't make a lot of money, but they were very heartwarming, very good films. But like you said, this is more niche. This is going to be like if you want to make it in the same in like the spirit of what Kobe would want. He would want more of intellectual, creative juices flowing in here. Not necessarily so feel good, like touchy feely kind of basketball movie here.
Yeah, it's the highest grossing sports films. I mean, F1, which we just talked about earlier. It's funny because you go to Wikipedia and they say Inside Out 2 and the Fast and Furious movies are the most box office generating movies of all time.
Yeah. Rush.
How are they sports? How
exactly.
are we really the sport? Yeah. And
Rush
Forrest
by
Gump.
Yeah, Rush by Ron Howard was a great sport racing movie, but didn't make any money.
No, didn't make any money. Forrest Gump. I mean, it has a little bit of him playing ping pong, and then running the football in the football
movie.
Yeah, that's not a sports movie. The first true sports movie.
I don't even consider The Blind Side a sports movie, Gerald.
Yeah, exactly. F1 is probably what. Not The Blind Side. I could say is more closer to it. Jerry Maguire, you could say, is closer to it, but yeah. So, I mean, those are. But then again, you see what I'm saying, guys.
Yes.
It's not when Warner Brothers greenlights this, they greenlight it knowing that they're not going to make a ton of money off of it. It's going to be for something that if they make well enough, you could do for maybe an awards consideration, something like that, if it's good, well made enough. So I don't think they're going to do it for money. Xbox says can do it. Vanessa can do what she wants. She won't remarry that soon. It's a shame you even believe the headline I saw. But guys don't even believe these headlines that are out there. I know that Tough got one the other day. He's put in the comments that he thought that Westbrook had signed with Tel Aviv for 3 for $150, and I was saying, Tough. I mean,
no. Not even Israel is desperate for that much Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, it's just not. Do not believe these things, guys. Do not believe. You go to Facebook and you see in any one of these basketball groups somebody posting these wild stories, and as far as somebody signing an agreement for Nikola Jokic signing with the Lakers for 10 years. That's not. These are not true things.
No, they don't even make that. But they don't even make that money where they could afford Russell Westbrook for $50 million a year.
Yeah, it's just don't just stay with us. You stay with us. That's why we try to keep your clear head about these things. Dwight Smith's talking about Beasley a little bit. I know Beasley got the clear head for going ahead, and now it can become a free agent officially. The question is the timing. Everybody's been signed up.
No money left.
No money left. So much for him having a great season. But we'll see where he signs up as far as with the Lakers. I don't think he'll go back to the Lakers because it didn't work out last time around.
I mean, guys, think about how dumb the Sacramento Kings are. Just think about how dumb they are as a franchise. They're willing to trade Malik Monk or put it out there to sign Russell Westbrook. Gerald, would you trade Malik Monk to sign Russell Westbrook?
No. Plus, they also got to remember, as I heard that report, it was said as well, they have a non-guaranteed contract that they simply can just non-guarantee in order to bring in Russell Westbrook, which would still be cap friendly enough so that they would keep Malik Monk if they wanted to. I think they probably want to get rid of Malik Monk simply because of the fact that they're not going to be a good team. They know they're not going to be a good team. Now you have to start getting rid of some assets. That's probably why he's going to be traded, not to pick up Russell Westbrook. Again, they could already make maneuvers that can bring them Russell Westbrook, and they might bring Russell Westbrook on. That's fine for them on the minimum. But remember, Russell Westbrook himself bet on himself. He still had a year. He could have picked up that last year on his Denver contract and chose not to. So much for him and Jokic having that love fest to work with each other. So he bet on himself and he lost.
Gerald, I gotta say,
all saw it coming.
As a Lakers fan, I absolutely love, and I encourage them, sign Russell Westbrook, Sacramento Kings. I encourage you to, because I would love the idea of playing a team that has Russell Westbrook and Zach LaVine in its backcourt. Oh, Gerald, please, can we play that team 4 times a year? Please.
Well, look at who we have here. It's the guy dishing out incorrect movie information in our chat, but it is always good to have him here. It is, of course, the man behind the Joe Soro Experiment. Actually, it was a good show last night. Hopefully you got a chance to listen to it. It is Joe Soro. Joe, good to have you here, honoring Kobe Bryant on Kobe Bryant Day. Again, we talked about his legacy living on and the possibilities of that. And I think that he will be a transcendent figure. I'm going to ask a tough question here. Is the transcendency of his career not just solely based off of his great career? Is it also the fact that he may have had a tragic ending as well? I mean, our society sometimes goes into morbid directions like that and honors and remembers people sometimes for the way, also not that just that they lived, but just also the way that they went out. Your thoughts on the legacy of Kobe Bryant, my friend?
Yeah, it does play a little part in the tragedy of a shortened life.
I think it does.
But Kobe had a legacy that was actually growing while he was alive after retirement from basketball. And it started when you saw him accept the Oscar.
Yep.
I think that changed a lot of things. There's certain things that people that are great in what they do, and then that's usually all they do. I'm not talking about being good business people or making more money later. That doesn't mean anything. You can just be good at one thing, and it can kind of tail into other things because of how good you were at that one thing. But Kobe, the question I got was, would you rather have 6 NBA championships, or would you rather have 5 NBA championships and an Oscar? That's a good question. I kind of go back and forth on. I kind of go back and forth on that one. I don't know sometimes, but a little bit of me says, yeah, I think it'd be kind of cool to have the Oscar, but you're there for the NBA stuff if you're a basketball player. The end game with Kobe has always been what if. What if he had gone to New Jersey? And they have a really good documentary on NBA TV about that. I think it was one of the best shows, called What If. So it's nice that they're going to be tailing into that a little bit, because they must have known that created a lot of interest. What if Kobe didn't get in trouble in Colorado? What if Kobe was able to start his career like LeBron, like Michael, like AI started their careers, where they were the men right out of the gate? What if Kobe had won in 04, 08? That's always my question. How different would his career have been had he won in 04 and 08? He is a what if, even though he's had one of the more storied careers in all of sports. as far as who's the greatest Laker, Magic Johnson being who he is, the greatest assist man in anything ever, of course he's going to say Kobe Bryant. But I still cannot really go all in with Kobe being the greatest Laker because of Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson is LA. He is LA. He is Showtime. He is electric. He is the smile, the megawatt smile, everything. Kobe is parts of LA, but the parts in LA that are blue collar, because Magic also had the blue collar part too, but it didn't get talked about a lot. It didn't get talked about a lot. Magic was a basketball junkie. Magic watched film. Magic cared about basketball 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 before he cared about anything else. That doesn't get talked about a lot because of how amazing he was at producing and marketing the game. Kobe was more New York. He was more Philly. And as much as this hurts me to say, probably more Boston. More of like a Larry Bird type in terms of how he performed. Mean, wanted to rip your throat out and wanted to show you wanted to do it. Whereas Magic did it with more of a smile. Magic was very competitive, but he did it with a smile. So I can't say Kobe is the greatest Laker of all time. I have to always say it's a tie between him and Magic. And Jerry West has to be in there too, because Jerry West did it in so many other areas. He was not a bad coach either. He was not a bad coach. If the 77 Portland Trailblazers hadn't been such a juggernaut that year, there would have been a very good chance that he could have led that team to a finals. Now, do they beat Philly in that finals? I don't know, but Jerry West could coach, much like how Larry Bird was able to coach for about 3 years. But there was a timeline on that, and we understand that great players don't typically become great coaches. So, greatest Laker, yeah. If I'm gonna have to go a certain way, it's got to be Magic and Kobe together. I can't pick one or the other because Magic was just too big. Yeah. To put a button on Kobe in general with Kobe Day, I don't. I've said this on the show. I try not to get into this morbid thing with Kobe because I'm trying to be like Steve Van Zett when he was explaining the James Gandolfini thing, where he's like, I just try to think that I'm missing him, and I'll catch up with him at some point. That's how I think of Kobe. I really forget sometimes that Kobe's gone, and I get reminded by it due to a post online or a tribute to something. But yeah, it's still just not good that he's not here. It's really bad, actually.
But the accident does, unfortunately, part of that process as far as getting a Magic, as far as to that legacy, because our society, it has a morbid tinge to it, a morbid fascination with it, and his career was absolutely fantastic, absolutely outstanding. And JY, I got your question in a sec. Appreciate the super chat from my goat 824 from M24. Truly appreciate it. But your thoughts, my friend? The way he left this world is always going to be remembered just as much as not just as much. I would say I'm going to correct my statement. It's going to be remembered, but as part of a entire legacy, which may keep on sustaining his legacy for some time to come. It's just a part of it. Unfortunately, it's our morbid fascination that we have.
Yeah, Gerald, it is. But I mean, for certain celebs in the United States, there's an allure with the way they went out. I mean,
Elvis, Prince,
John Denver, and Patsy Cline both died in plane crashes.
John Lennon
was shot and killed by Mark David Chapman. I hate saying his name. I hope he rot in hell. But yeah, I mean, Gerald. I mean, Sam Kinnison's death is infamous as well, as much as his comedy.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, like you said, it's a part of the story of Kobe being Bryant, and there's an attachment there. Like you said, the morbidity attachment will never go away. Unfortunately, there's always this seething, frothing appetite, Gerald, for living vicariously, watching something else die.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I mean, why do we look and stare at a car accident when we drive on by? That's just part of the deal. That's just humanity right there in a nutshell. But again, that should not take away anything from the legacy that he built during the course of his life. Oscar winner, multi-time champion, MVP, whole 9 yards, scoring champion, the whole 9 yards right there. Absolutely, just a fantastic career. But I want to put something to you guys first. That JY said Magic was the first 6'9" point guard transcendent player. Kobe was a replica. This is what JY is saying of Mike with less athleticism. Question mark. Your thoughts on that, Joe? Was he just a replica of Mike with less athleticism?
Well, if you want to talk transcendent, Kobe Bryant was transcendent. He was the first perimeter player to come out from high school to the NBA. Transcendent. He had two careers, essentially two careers. And I say this because you could obviously take half of LeBron's career and make it two different. That wasn't LeBron's program. LeBron was the guy from the beginning. AI was the guy from the beginning. Michael was the guy from the beginning. Kobe had two different types of careers. He was not the man, at least in the traditional form, until 2004. So he played 8 seasons. He played 8 seasons being the guy that was supposed to defer. And 3 of those first 8 seasons were extraordinary circumstances. Number one, he wasn't given the opportunity to play a lot his first season. Played a little bit more in the second season. And then the third season was a lockout year that was disjointed. His first full season in the NBA in an 82-game season was his 4th season. And that just so happened to be the year they won the championship. And there's a lot of discussion going on right now. The boys shared the Kwame Brown response to Tracy McGrady, which I highly recommend listening to it. I have made it very clear on the show that Kwame Brown is number 1 on my list as the most unwatchable Laker I've ever seen in my life. But this is different. This is a different scenario. This is where Kwame Brown has flourished since his playing days. And he's been very, very good at calling out guys and telling them who they really are. So I commend Kwame for that. And he's defending himself at this point, which he has the right to do. But Kobe Bryant, there's this, the polarizing part of Kobe is not the polarizing of a LeBron James. LeBron James does that to himself. He creates the polarization. Kobe's polarization is more. I said this years ago. It's more about your personality and who you are as the observer. You listen to certain people not even mention Kobe in any of the great commentary, and I'm sitting there waiting. Right, I'm just sitting there going, "Oh, okay, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Michael Jordan and LeBron James and Magic," and then I'm like, "Where's Kobe? Where's Kobe?" And those guys have zero credibility at that point. And the response to that is always going to be, well, you're a Laker fan. Of course, you're going to be cheering for Kobe. Right? Yet I'm the one that's always yapping about Dan Marino. I'm not a Dolphins fan. I don't have any allegiance to Dan Marino, but I saw that man throw a football. And if you don't put that man in the greatest quarterback area, you don't have to put him in 1 or 2 or 3, but you need to put him in there somewhere. I have still never seen anyone throw a football like Dan Marino. So, anyone who doesn't put Kobe Bryant in the top 10 for sure, you have zero credibility in my book. And really, I don't know anyone that's better than him besides Michael Jordan anyways. Someone was talking about on a list, they put Tim Duncan between 2004 and 2007 as the best player of those years. I guess these guys forgot that during the 2000s, Kobe took out Tim Duncan 4 out of 5 times in that decade, with and without Shaq. And this is what you have to do as a Laker fan, or as just an NBA purist, whatever. I don't look at it as I'm a Kobe fan and I got to defend him. It has nothing to do with that. It's about logic. There was no better player in the NBA than Kobe Bryant in the 2000s. And if you want to go one-on-one with me on that, I'll roll with you, and I'll bury you. The results are the results. They're there. You're talking about a guy that was on 12 all-defensive teams and 15 all-NBA teams. And you're telling me this guy's not in the top 10, top 5? How many of you, do you guys know how many guys that have done that? Think about that. There are guys that haven't been in the average span of an NBA player is 3 years. This guy, 5 times that as an all-NBA player. He 4 times it as an all-defensive player. Oh, and he also went to 7 NBA finals in that decade plus 1 and won 5 of them. Without Shaq, without a 75 all-timer in the last 2. I mean, what else can we put up on the board there and really take this home? And I don't think there's enough people out there in the mainstream sports area that really know enough information to really take it home. I think they just say the usual stuff because they probably didn't watch shit 10, 15, 20 years ago. I don't remember anything.
Jay's asking a question here, or Jay's making a statement, Magic Man. Kobe could have been a second-round pick as well. He was drafted 13th in the 1996 NBA draft. That would have meant he would have had to drop quite a few spots. He would have to have dropped, I'd probably say, 16 more spots.
There was no way he's going to be taken in the second round.
Okay.
There were. If you look at that draft, look at who selected after the Lakers. And they selected guards too, Drill. So if the Lakers didn't
starting with Peja Stojakovic, right?
Steve Nash, we want to keep going down the list there. We're just mentioning, all the best snipers. All the best stuff. Oh yeah, and Jermaine O'Neal got taken shortly after.
Derek Fisher.
Derek Fisher. We're talking about heavy hitters here, folks. There's no way Kobe would have lasted to I believe the bottom of the first round, Drill.
Well, he would have been picked by LA at 21 instead of Derek Fisher if it really went that way. When I look at that draft, and I'm pretty familiar with that draft, I'm very familiar with that draft. Jermaine O'Neal was picked 17 to Portland, but Jermaine O'Neal was a big, so I wouldn't even if he had dropped to 17, they're probably still picking Jermaine O'Neal because of the size. You guys have to understand something here. It's a different world then. This is something that perspective is hard to kind of gauge.
They were long in the tooth at the guard position at that point, though. You're talking about a team that was really relying on old fogies.
I think he would have gone 16 to the Hornets.
Yes.
Because they got Delk. Because remember, they made the trade with the Lakers so that the Lakers could move up to get him. Because obviously they were trying to – the Lakers were trying to get him ahead of somebody.
Every time I look at a Charlotte Hornets, like draft history. It's like looking at a bug on a windshield.
Yeah, absolutely. The Lakers obviously got wind that somebody was going to take Kobe in the next few picks, and they jumped the gun and moved up to go ahead and get that spot at 13. So I think
But
that's
I think the point
much
that we're all saying is here is that we all remember that draft, and there was no way in how Kobe was dropping to the second round. There was just there was too much impact that move had already. Like, people were scrambling, thinking, why the hell did they take Kerry Kittles? Everyone thought they were taking Bryant.
Joe, they want you to read Soro Alpha's comment. I don't know which one. Oh, he says, I think the best thing about Kobe was the thing that Joe hates today, softness. Kobe wasn't soft. He played through pain and injury. He had a Mamba mentality, which Magic Man demonstrates every single day. He made the All-Star game competitive, et cetera, Joe.
So it's funny, the Kwame Brown thing today that you guys shared. He was the best part about that was him destroying Tracy McGrady's fortitude.
Yeah,
this guy got
hurt. You got hurt in practice, bro.
Yeah, we have talked about the Tracy McGrady thing in a lighter tone. I've talked about it even off the air, just because that got a lot of steam, right? Oh, what? And that was actually, that had started even before. Well, just put AI and put Tracy McGrady, put Vince Carter on those Shaq teams, and the Lakers still win, which was complete bullshit. There's no indication in any way that Vince Carter was good enough to do that with Shaq. There was never any evidence of Tracy McGrady being a two in that situation. I did give one title with AI. AI had it when he was on. He could have gotten a title within those 3 years with Shaq, but not more than one, because there was something else that Kobe had that none of those guys had. And that was the ability to get that ball in the basket by any means necessary, with Shaq or without Shaq. And that's just facts. It's facts of what we saw. LeBron James, 2 out of 3. I could see 2 out of 3 because he was that damn good, but not 3 in a row. Kobe had another gear. Kobe had something else there that LeBron didn't have. Definitely not Tracy McGrady, not Vince Carter. AI had it in spurts, but he was too busy being AI and not focusing on the task at hand. And that's just how it is. It's not really a detriment to AI. It's just that's how he played. Kobe wanted to win by any means necessary. And LeBron has never really showed me, other than maybe a handful of times, that he's about that. Shaq, we talked about this, and it's something that you have to put in there too. And this is where I can shut down the Shaq thing almost every time. I'm like, you guys do know that Shaq got swept 5 out of 6 seasons, right? Before all this started happening. So explain that to me. And by the way, that might have been, that was with Kobe and without Kobe. And by the way, that was during Kobe when he was still trying to get his bearings together here. And no one knows that I'm going to know that, right? No one has that kind of memory usually that in their circles. Usually they just stick to what they saw in Sports Center or maybe what they read 15 years ago on one day and they remembered it. In the end, we here on this show are historians and we remember this stuff, and we have a lot of it in the coffer. So if you're going to come yap about it, you better bring the evidence. You have to bring the evidence. You can't bring your feelings together.
And Gerald, I'll also say this, and this is like in all reverence and respect to MJ. Kobe's got more iconography and more iconic posters and pictures than one Michael Jordan. Mike has his push-off against Byron Scott, and it was a push-off, Mike. He also has the shot over Craig Elo, and there are a couple others sprinkled in there, Gerald. But Kobe has the 96 slam poster, which, by the way, ironically does not feature AI in it, which is funny. Joe saying AI doing AI things. That's such an AI thing to do, just not being the poster of all the greats from 90. Like, that would have been, Gerald, that would have been really cool if they did like a 30-year anniversary of the 96 poster. That would have been really something special, but unfortunately not gonna happen. But I like, again, we could talk about, you could talk about the comparisons all you want. There's more iconography with Kobe than there is with Mike.
So we'll just close out our show with some thoughts from these two. Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. Truly appreciate you guys posting your thoughts, your memories, the draft that was the 1996 draft, one of the greatest ever, on Kobe Bryant, of course, and your memories of him. Just truly appreciate it. Great chat tonight. But before we head on out, Joe and Magic, I just want to hear your final thoughts on the legacy that is Kobe Bryant, for the tremendous things that he did for the basketball world throughout his life, throughout his career, and obviously his legacy, in my opinion, will live on for quite some time. Joe, I'll start off with you. Any thoughts before we head on out on the Kobe Bryant?
It'll always be a legacy cut short, and beyond that, it was an opportunity to see. It was an opportunity to see his offspring continue it on in basketball. That was kind of the almost like the final sword to the throat. We would have been watching Gianna play in the WNBA, and Caitlin Clark has done great in bringing publicity to the WNBA. But I'm telling you right now, if Gianna would have been the Kobe Bryant of female basketball players, this would have been like putting Cheryl Miller in the WNBA today. That's where it was going. And we would have been watching the draft. I remember talking about this 4 months before he died. I was talking to my buddy. I'm like, dude, we're going to be watching the WNBA draft, waiting for Gianna to get drafted, and we're going to be watching her play. I remember it like it was yesterday. We were excited about it because we were waiting for a boy, right? Because we're dudes. That's what we think about. But we forgot. We forgot that the one that had it was Gigi, and she was going to convert us, and we were ready. We were ready. She had just committed verbally to UConn. I go, good. We're going to see her at UConn, and we're going to watch WNBA, and we're going to have, this is going to be amazing. WNBA is going to change. That is probably the as tragic as it gets from the sports side. And, of course, being a family man, losing a kid for Vanessa, losing her husband, siblings losing their sibling. That's the tragedy right there in the end.
Magic Man, any thoughts before we head on out?
His legacy will live on forever, long after we're gone. The Mamba mentality will be here until the sun don't come up anymore, Gerald. That's how long it's gonna last. He wanted something. He wanted to leave something behind, like Bruce Lee left his Jeet Kune Do behind, Gerald, and he accomplished that. The Mamba mentality will live on as long as Jeet Kune Do lives on.
Whether it's Lakers 8 or Lakers 24, I agree with Magic and Joe. His name and legacy and his life will always be remembered and live on. So hopefully it will be respected and treated well when Warner Brothers does tackle a small piece of the Kobe Bryant era. And I know that a lot of people are interested in that, or at least curious to see how it's going to be portrayed. I know Xbox shared his opinions on it, and he's justified at that as far as his thoughts on that. But eventually something was going to have to be done in the realm of Kobe Bryant on film. It just was inevitable. That's going to be an approachable subject. I'd rather it be something like this than a biopic that tries to cover the entire spectrum in 2 hours, because there's so much more story to tell than just what 2 hours can cover about his entire life and career. So this small aspect, I think, is at least a good place to start. But as M24 says, he said he dropped a friendship because someone sent him a picture of Kobe Bryant in Boston Celtics, the famous Kobe Bryant Boston
Well,
Celtics.
that was real. That's a real photo.
Yeah, it is a real thing, but he dropped a
That's
friendship
a real
over it.
photo.
Be prepared to see Kobe Bryant in Boston Celtic, or whoever portrays Kobe Bryant in Boston Celtic and New Jersey Nets gear, or whatever teams he tried out for, because you may just see it. But it's an interesting aspect of his life and his career just leading up to it. But it's more from the aspect of not him per se, but the decision making on the other end. That's what I want to know more about, as far as from the Nets end. How did they pass over this guy? What were the internal struggles and decisions? What were the arguments for and against picking Kobe Bryant that early in the draft? That's what I really want to see, and that's whether or not it's true, fictionalized,
I want to know.
what have you.
I want to really know, because I feel like I have a good guess, but I don't know 100%. I really feel that John Calipari wanted Kobe, and he got talked out of it.
Yeah.
Or they said, we're not drafting Kobe Bryant, and he had to deal with it.
Yeah.
Because John Calipari has shown evidence in his entire coaching career that guy knew talent. He knew high school talent very well.
There was no one with better instincts in that place at that time than one Jerry West. He knew. The Nets don't take Bryant. We are. He'll drop right to us.
That's a good point, Tough and Juan. I used to argue the Magic versus Jordan thing back in the 90s. That was, at that time, that's what I was battling. I was battling the who's better, Magic versus Jordan. And Magic, much like Kobe, had a couple of unfortunate incidents happen that ruined the ending for them. I mean, and Magic, some of it was not even, has nothing to do with the post, career. It was more of James Worthy doesn't make that pass to Henderson. The Lakers go 3-0 against the Celtics in the 80s. Magic wins 6 titles. How different would Magic's career and his all-time status change if that series is won by the Lakers? Because he beats Bird 3 times. They beat the Celtics 3 times in the 80s. And Magic has 6 NBA titles and in my view, the most competitive decade of NBA basketball ever. And we'll probably never see it again. That says a lot. That matters. For those of you who love LeBron James, competition matters too. Going to the NBA Finals in the East during the 2000 and 2010s is different than going to the NBA Finals in the 90s in the East. It's different. But you'd have to be there and watch it, right? You would have had to have known that and felt it, known it. A lot of you don't. That's what I'm talking about being there. You didn't fucking know because you weren't there. All you have to back your shit up is some fucking dick-faced piece of shit like Nick Wright or whatever fucking LeBron-itis guy at Ohio who wants to suck his dick so he can have a career. You only hear those assholes talking. How about the guys that actually watch?
Show until that last.
Yeah. Got to put a button on this.
Oh, you did. All right. You
got to put a button on it. You want to talk? You want to talk the truth? You want to talk about what was seen? Anyone who doesn't have Kobe as the number 1 basketball player in the 2000s.
Well, to be fair to him, he was. Gerald, I'm just going to go for it. Nick Wright, you were rimming KD before you were rimming LeBron James.
Okay. Now we just had to go there. And we did for you guys, indeed. But it is Kobe Bryant Day for us. Wanted to go ahead and thank everyone for stopping by and checking this out. Joe and Magic Man, thank you for sharing your thoughts on Kobe Bryant on Kobe Bryant Day. You know we do today, and then we also do as well. We honor his passing each and every year, and we'll do that again next year. So looking forward to honoring his memory then as well. Plus, we talk about Kobe Bryant all the time here on this show. So if you're new, please go ahead, like and subscribe so you can get hopefully the notifications. I heard that's been a little spotty as of late, the notifications from YouTube on that. But again, thank you so much. We'll be stopping by with more shows this week on the LA Lakers as it gets closer. I know that, of course, Luka Doncic has been playing in Euroball. No new knee injuries. That's the good thing so far. So that'll be coming up soon. I believe he plays later this week in the first game coming up here for the actual one that counts in the Euro basketball. The friendlies are over, so we'll see how he's doing there. But again, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. We'll be back with more episodes, plus Inside Sports Fantasy Football, the Joe Soro Experiment, the Pop Culture Cosmos. We provide you with a lot of entertainment here, but for your Lakers fix, don't get it anywhere else other than right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast. Rest in peace, Lakers. Okay, Joe.
What?
No, I was just gonna say. I was just waiting for you. You had your mic up on.
Well, I was gonna say it. I
Okay.
did.
A shot of what we were talking about. That's your problem, not ours.
Sorry for the cursing wife and kids.
No, you're not.